said jaw dropping at the top of the story. I'm sitting there going, what?
This is a CIA report. We're not making it. This isn't a tabloid.
Wait, hold on. Let me see.
Bro, replay that.
And that's not a person, bro. It's way too small.
How the f does it disappear that fast?
Even more chambers detected along the middle of these newly discovered megastructures. And now this is where the presentation goes from, wow, that's cool, to no way.
What do you think happens when you die?
What's up, guys？ 我是大金，欢迎来到我的频道。在这里呢，我们会一起来看那些在网络上面奇异的、有趣的、让你脑炸裂的影片。当然，还有一些八七的影片。那在开始之前呢，请帮我订阅、按赞，非常感谢。那我们话不多说，赶快开始吧 ！Let's go！ Right。哦。Ooh, nice. No way. Wow. That's cool. Red Bull give you wings. All right.
I now know categorically that the Tic Tac is Lockheed Martin technology.
Okay. This categorical statement from investigative journalist Ross Coulthard, if true, reframes the entire UFO narrative. It suggests the alien story, long nurtured in the shadows, may be the perfect cover for a terrestrial secret of profound importance. Conversely, it raises the possibility that legitimate non-human phenomena are being deliberately obscured behind a smokescreen of rumored experimental human craft, creating a hall of mirrors where each story serves to conceal the other.
The Tic Tac is Lockheed Martin technology. Why are we being lied to? This is the issue. Why is the United States government now participating at White House executive level in collusion with the national security state to keep secret the fact that they've made these advances? I suspect it's because they've realized that they're being overtaken by their foreign adversaries, and they don't want you to know that.
But what do you think? Is the Tic Tac man-made, or is it alien tech?
OK， 所以给大家一点这个人是谁的一个背景资料。这个人是 Ross Coulthard， 是一个澳洲资深调查记者，曾任职于60分钟 60 Minutes 跟四角等节目 Four Corners。所以说呢，他是一个调查记者，然后后来呢，就是转型成就是调查有关于专门是有关于这种幽浮的这一类的话题哦。OK。
Right there. Press pause if you could. So this is a recreation of a glyph of a painting that once existed. It was destroyed. This is the only example of them even doing anything with stone depicted, but this is not showing them cut a block.
What do you think they're using when those guys are on their knees? It's showing a line. What do you think that is?
I think that they're doing measurements in order to put in hieroglyphs, because we know they did. There's actual evidence of them doing glyphs over prior work. It quite literally could just be showing them carved stuff into it. I saw examples where you have this wonderful stone and then these crude glyphs carved into it. Why would the glyphs look like shit in comparison to a wonderful block? And that's not to say all the glyphs look like shit. Some are spectacular. Let me just clarify. Dynastic Egyptians are the so-called ancient Egyptians we all learned about in school. My argument and others' argument is that there was people before them doing work.
Alright. UFO spotted over Marietta, Georgia. 7月10号2025 OK， 我们来看一下。
Whoa. I don't see it. I'm on the front porch.
像风筝。
Okay, look toward.
Oh my God, that is strange.
Look, east. Look east.
Hey.
Wow.
Incredible. Yeah.
是不是在变形啊
Do you see it, Mom? No. Oh, shit, you're kidding me. I'm on Marietta. facing Newport Road, and I'm staring right at it.
Dude, it's huge.
Green, blue, it's going in circles.
What the heck?
Slowly staying still. Now it's spinning in circles. Oh my God! I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Well, I don't see
What the hell is it?
I'm in the middle of my
Oh my god.
有没有看到刚刚从头开始像一个，我以为是个风筝，也像一个比如说乌龟的风筝，怎么后来慢慢的变形了？
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my god, dude.
You see it, Mom?
No.
Well, it's not far from your house.
所以说你觉得呢？这个到底是什么东西？ Alright.
This can't be real. You are not gonna believe the follow-up scans that revealed what's really under the entire Giza Plateau. So back in March, these guys came out and basically told the world there probably actually are large megastructures beneath the middle pyramid of Khafre in Egypt. Massive pillars that go down up to 2 kilometers underground, a monumental discovery that initiated the Khafre project. Well, they released a follow-up presentation going over some new finds, and it just keeps getting more
之前我
insane.
们就有看过这一个最新的，就是他们发现在金字塔底下的这一个巨大的结构。 看起来他们有新的发现，有新的说明。
Addressing concerns about the legitimacy of their technology that was used to make these discoveries. Synthetic aperture radar scanning, SAR, going into an in-depth technical explanation of how this technology works, calling it a way to listen to Earth from space, which is what it is. This SAR scanning method allows us to see what's beneath Earth's surface using a satellite in orbit, a truly revolutionary technology, but the experts came out and just shat all over it, claiming it to be not accurate at all and that we can't trust the results. Well, the Khafre boys just said, hold my beer, and gave us proof after proof of how accurate SAR really is for over an hour straight. From small-scale testing in their garage to real-world application on many sites and locations around the world, getting verifiable results time and time again. From tunnels in Nevada to a mountain range in Italy and the Mosul Dam in Iraq. Their SAR scans consistently show exactly what we expect to be there. They even show the SAR scan of the Osiris shaft in the Giza Plateau, a known causeway that runs between the Khafre pyramid and the Sphinx, which accurately mapped out all 3 levels of the shaft with incredible precision, even revealing what they're calling a high-density structure over 2.5 times deeper than the current documented depth of the Osiris shaft, as well as a new unknown tunnel that appears to be running parallel to the entire shaft. Then they performed more SAR scans of the Giza Plateau, and what they found completely changes everything we know again, starting with verifying the Big Void above the Grand Gallery in the Great Pyramid of Khufu, a large isolated cavity recently discovered in 2017 about the size of an airplane that still has not been explored yet, which Egyptologists were also initially highly skeptical of, but now admit that it really does exist. We don't know what's inside this big void or what it was used for, and we haven't explored it yet out of fear of damaging it, but the SAR scans confirmed that it's there. Then the Khafre boys go on to reveal this. Similar mega pillars as they found under the Khafre pyramid beneath the smaller pyramid of Menkaure, going over 1 kilometer straight down with a chamber at the very bottom at a depth of 1.2 kilometers underground. This chamber is about the size of the entire pyramid of Menkaure on the surface, over a kilometer underground, which would be just an earth-shattering discovery to say the least, with even more chambers detected along the middle of these newly discovered megastructures. And now this is where the presentation goes from wow that's cool to no way. They present a few overhead satellite photos of the area, which shows us just how many shafts there are across the entire Giza Plateau. Every mark you see on the map here is a shaft, some deeper than others, but there's a lot. They even suggest that the structures currently standing over these shafts may have been built by later dynasties to intentionally cover their entrances, because SAR scans of these shafts show that some of them also go down over 1 kilometer underground, and again at 1.2 kilometers down appear to connect to some larger chamber picked up by the scans, the same depth that other chamber beneath Menkaure was, along with even more horizontal passageways that appear to be tunnels that connects everything together. Essentially, a whole-ass underground complex over a kilometer beneath the surface of the entire Giza Plateau. Exactly what ancient myths and crazy theorists have been insisting for generations. And this is just the start, with their scans showing many other pillars, chambers, tunnels, and all sorts of crazy shit happening under the Giza Plateau. Megastructures beneath Khafre, Khufu, Khufu and Menkaure, all three main pyramids of Egypt. Random shafts have massive pillars and structures running through them, and if you look closely, there even appears to be something beneath the Sphinx as well, all appearing to connect with underground horizontal tunnels, as well as a larger chamber at a depth of about 1.2 kilometers down. Wow, which the researchers behind the Khafre project themselves stand by the claim that these structures are estimated to be around 38,000 years old. This is what they showed at the end of their presentation, which I really hope they'll be covering in more detail very soon. They even revealed they're working with professors at Stanford University to replicate their data and validate all the claims they're making. So all you, it's not peer-reviewed nerds can finally shut the fuck up.
Alright.
What was that? You guys. I got that.
Alright. Crazy movie fact.
I think one of the craziest movie factoids of all time was casually dropped on a Joe Rogan episode. He was interviewing Bob Lazar, a man who claims to have worked on extraterrestrial technology at Area 51 back in 1989. What's crazy about Bob's story is how credible he sounds and how people who study body language have done breakdowns on when Bob speaks, he gives off no physical indicators that he's lying. Bob was talking about back in the 80s about how these UFO aircrafts were powered by Element 115, which everyone made fun of him for because there's no such thing as Element 115. Until the existence of Element 115 became public knowledge in February 2004. People have found his story to be quite believable up until this moment when he's telling Joe about a hand scanner that he would use to get inside the top secret facility that he worked at. Movie aficionados say this is the moment that proves Bob is full of crap because that same hand scanner was a prop used in the 1977 film Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I thought this was proof that Bob Lazar was lying myself until I started researching how Close Encounters was filmed. A man by the name of J. Allen Hynek worked on the film as a creative consultant, and he actually cameoed in the movie right here. Hynek was a brilliant professor and astronomer who worked as a scientific advisor on UFO studies for the United States Air Force. He worked on 3 different UFO projects for the military: Project Sign, Project Grudge, and Project Blue Book. He was handpicked by Steven Spielberg to work on the film because Spielberg wanted to bring as much realism to the film as possible. He wanted to hire people like Hynek who are privy to these top secret facilities and have seen the tech they use himself. And the more you dig on this hand scanner, the more evidence of its existence that you find. Dozens and dozens of first-hand accounts of people saying a similar thing. People saying things like, oh yeah, I remember our company using this for a short while, but it was kind of a pain in the butt, so they eventually stopped using it. But because this tech never went mainstream, people assume it never existed, just like Element 115. Now, whenever I watch this movie, I just can't help but think to myself, now that we know that that isn't just some made-up movie prop, what else in this movie do we just automatically assume is fiction, but is actually closer to the truth than we think?
Oh yeah. 所以说第三类接触 The Close Encounter of the Third Kind 是1977年上映的。诶，第三类接触，这样让我想回去看看第三类接触的内容到底是什么耶。所以现在如果再来看看，感觉可能完全不一样哦。Alright.
This is a real video coming straight from Oaxaca, Mexico, of a duende caught on camera, bro. This day.
Bro, stop.
So you're gonna be looking in the the walkway area over here and shit. Okay.
Right here?
Yes. Hold on. There it appears. It's right there.
Oh, right there?
And then watch.
Oi.
Vanishes.
Wait, hold on. Let me see.
Bro, replay that.
And that's not a person, bro. It's way too small.
And how the fuck does it disappear that fast? Vanishes.
Nah. That's not no camera glitch, bro. This is crazy.
Let me know what you guys think. What the fuck do you think that is? Do you guys think it's a duende?
Well, 看起来就是像一个小
comment it down below. Bro, when she showed me that.
所以 Duende 是来自西班牙、拉丁美洲和菲律宾民间传说中的一种小型神秘生物，外形像是小矮人或者是精灵，常住在屋内， 森林深处或者是地板下。有些时候他们顽皮捣蛋，会藏东西恶作剧，但也有传说他们会保护小孩，甚至会预警危险。在不同的文化中 Duende 的个性也不一样，有的会引人迷路，有的则默默帮你修鞋子或守护家园。诶，那这个不就是我们说的魔神仔吗？魔神仔哦。
Did you hear about how prisons now give VR headsets to their most hardened prisoners? Here's some photos from a prison in California. This is a program in the UK. And here's a women's prison in Maryland. At first I thought living through VR in a cage seemed a bit too much like The Matrix. Yeah. But then I looked into it. And now it's clear, this is gonna be huge. You see, the prisoners in these cages actually went through solitary confinement first. And that can seriously mess you up, because it isolates you from other humans and deprives you of any kind of stimulation. So maybe now you think this is forced stimulation. But these headsets aren't for playing games. Instead, they help you readjust. In the beginning, you go through scenarios like, what if someone rudely bumps into you on the street? Do you stab them or apologize and move on? But then as you work through the program, you learn skills that can get you a job after prison.
哇哦，就是再教育计划，太恐怖了吧？我不知道我觉得有点不知道该怎么想你们觉得呢？ All right.
Media is like, there's aliens, and then it's like, there's no aliens. You think it's just conditioning?
100%. They want to roll it out because aliens will detach you from God. And I think aliens are just angels and demons.
I mean, yeah, that's the side I side on. Just the supernatural of it all. Because you can go back, way back in history. And throughout scripture, it's like, if you were to see that today, you'd be like, this is an alien invasion.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's like these creatures, 4 wings, 4 heads, and it's like the wheel within the wheel.
You know, Aleister Crowley, obviously we're not a fan of that guy, but he talked that there will be an era of the Thoth, which is an old Egyptian god. You will see his return. When the sky is burning, the angels and demons will return and they will be called a different name. There's this belief that the name will be aliens. They're being sold to us as aliens. Yeah. There's a very famous study where the Pentagon stopped studies into aliens because everyone at the Pentagon came to believe it was angels and demons.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
CIA just posted on its website a single-page summary, there it is, of a hostile encounter between the Russian army and a flying saucer that is said to have occurred sometime between 1989 and 1990. So that's when, according to portions of an extensive 250-page KGB file featuring witness testimony and photographs, detail how 25 Soviet troops were practicing training drills when a, quote, low-flying spaceship in the shape of a saucer, unquote, flew above their base in Siberia. Now, the report states that for unknown reasons, the sighting prompted the men to launch a surface-to-air missile, bringing the craft down. The report goes on to say the sphere burst into an explosion of white light, leaving 23 of the men, quote, turned into stone poles, unquote, while the remaining 2 that apparently were shielded from the blast by being in the shade escaped unharmed. Now, the bodies of the victims and what was left of the UFO were recovered by the Red Army and taken to a research lab outside Moscow, where it was found that the molecular structure of the men was that of limestone.
What? Okay.
In California this past Friday on 4th of July and a drone was watching, you probably have a fine coming in the mail. Multiple cities across California deployed drones as part of their ongoing efforts to combat illegal fireworks. The drones can see in the dark, they use mapping software to pinpoint the exact location, and they can magnify images up to 200 times. In Sacramento, they upped the fine this year to $1,000 for the first firework and $2,500 per firework after that. And if you lit a firework on city property like a park or a school, the fine goes up to $10,000 each. Riverside has a social host law, which means if your neighbor shot fireworks over your fence, you get fined if it landed on your property, even if you weren't home. And if you're a renter, the fine's going to go to your landlord.
What? 这是什么法律？如果人家射这个鞭炮，如果人家在射烟火的话，掉到你家，然后你家被罚，是什么情况？
If Trump actually succeeds in deporting you, what's your plan? Where do you go from here?
Honestly, if I'm forced out, it'll be a huge loss for America. I'd look to where it all started, South Africa. There's an incredible wealth of minerals there, essential for batteries, advanced tech, solar farms, you name it. The land is vast. the potential is almost limitless. I could see building massive gigafactories, solar cities, maybe even recreating something like Atlantis, but on African soil. If America shuts the door, I'll open a new one, and it could end up changing the balance of innovation entirely. If Trump really thinks pushing me out will stop me, he might be in for a surprise.
Ooh. Yeah.
How do you think we're living in a simulation? I mean, I know they say they cannot disprove it.
Yeah, you can't, like, it's kind of one of these things. There's no way to prove or disprove that you live in a simulation. And so but it's like any, you know, afterlife thought or religious thought, like all these things, they're like fundamentally unprovable. But the reason I think it's the case is I think in our lifetime we are going to be able to create simulations of reality that will be hyper realistic. Like, I think we are going to create the ability to simulate different versions of our world with hyper realistic accuracy. And that will happen over the next few decades. And if we can, like, it's kind of like that Rick and Morty episode where if we have the ability as an intelligent race to produce, you know, millions of simulated worlds, then the likelihood is that we're probably also the simulation of some other more intelligent or more capable species.
Where do you think consciousness goes right now when you die? What if we are the super advanced robotics?
Yeah, I think
and your consciousness gets downloaded into another body generation.
Yeah, that's something like one way to think about it, which is like, yeah, it's all this big simulation that's running, and as soon as, like, you know, you get kind of like downloaded or like taken off or like decommissioned from, you know, one entity, you get, like, you know, uploaded to another entity kind of thing. It's kind of that's plausible. I think there's another world where, like, consciousness may not, like, be that big a deal, so to speak. Like, it could be the case that, you know, definitely as the models have gotten better and better, as the AI models have gotten better and better, you look at them and, you know, you definitely wonder if at some point you're just going to have models that are properly conscious. And it may just be the fact that, like, you know, it's something that can be engineered. And if it's something that can be engineered, then all bets are off, I think.
All bets are off. All bets are off. 最后这句话太恐怖了。Alright， 那今天的影片就先到这里啦，非常感谢的收看。如果想要看更多这类的影片的话，不要忘记帮我订阅、按赞，非常感谢。那我们下次再见 ，Have a good one， bye bye。